So was there anything in that fight that surprised you about your opponent?
She tried to ground and pound me from bottom. So I let her throw one or two, and I was like, okay, if you want to go strike for strike from this position, that would be great for me. So I did. But that was about it. No, she didn't do anything that I wasn't expecting.
And there was a period of time where there were some canceled bouts, and you mentioned that you changed your life 100%. Can you kind of talk to us a little bit about what did you change, and how did that time kind of help you heal?
For sure. I've just been changing a lot of things mentally and spiritually. I've been going through a lot of things in my personal life that I really had to deal with that brought me to another level outside of fighting. My whole life has been about fighting, at least since I started for like the last 15 years. And I've been really selfish about it. And, you know, being a mom and really focusing on my daughter and really focusing on my family gave me the opportunity and the motivation to change my life around for the better. And I realized I was just coming to fights and cashing checks, you know, and having fun, but I wasn't really living how I was supposed to live to reach the goals. I had lofty goals, but you can't get them if you're not going to train like a champion, like an athlete. So I started training a little bit harder, making smarter nutritional choices, making smarter sleeping choices, making smarter choices about the people I put in my environment, all kinds of stuff like that. I made a lot of little changes that added up to a whole new person. And here I am today. I feel like, man, I'm not the same person that y'all talked to last time, and it feels good.
So looking back on your career now, if you were to redo some of those fights that you lost in the mindset you are now, is that something you want to do? Do you want to kind of redo those, or are you just looking at this is a fresh start, today's the first day?
Fresh start. Today's the first day. I'm 1-0 now. I know everybody says like the 2.0 thing. It's not really Sarge 2.0. I'm probably Sarge like 12.7. As much change as but it's definitely new. I don't like to live with like, oh, I wish I could have done that. I spent a lot of time wishing I could have done things differently in my career. So just forget it. It's gone now. Like I'm back to the division, so it definitely feels fresh. And so let's keep it going from here.
And you mentioned a lot of names that you wanted to fight. Is there somebody now that, you know, in that moment, of course, you're not thinking straight. I know it hasn't been that long, but is there somebody now you can kind of hone in on? Just one name, maybe?
Like the name I think to me that maybe makes the most sense right now that keeps coming up is probably Jessica Ai, because we had signed to fight before and we just never got there. So that's the first one that kind of makes sense. And she's ranked high enough. She's coming off of a loss. I don't know how that plays, but I think to me it kind of makes the most sense right now. But like I said, it's whoever got a number next to their name that's going to sign the contract that's going to help me get to the top.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sijara.
Yes. Hey, how you doing?
You got your first finish in the UFC. How does that feel?
Yes, technically it is. Nice. Sweet. Thank you. Feels amazing. Tough doesn't count. That's right. No, it feels great. Awesome. Good to know.
So, I mean, the story of the week and like, you know, was, you know, your weight problems and everything. How does it feel to shut everybody up and, you know, you made weight successfully, you looked good, and then you went in there and dominated?
Yeah, it feels good. It was less about shutting everybody up and more proving to me that I can make it. Let me tell y'all something. I've been working on this weight class since the beginning of the year. I knew about halfway through my year last year. I think I was probably around like the Julia Avila fight. I was like, I think these girls are too big. And so I had already started like mentally preparing myself to go back down. And it was a lot of like, can I do it? Should I do it? Is it healthy? Is it, you know, there was a lot of that. And once I got over that and I started eating clean without a fight sign, I started losing weight with no fight sign. Let's start losing it now. And when I saw my body coming down, I felt the way I felt in practice, and I felt the way mentally I had more energy. I was sleeping better. I was like, yeah, this is the division for me. So coming into this weight cut, this was probably one of the smoothest weight cuts I've had in any division because I was so healthy throughout the camp. And the rehydration was the best too. I used to cut to flyweight. I would cut like 20 pounds in a week. I would bounce back and be like 155 on fight night. It felt like sluggish. My knees were bloated. Man, I rehydrated to like 41, and man, I felt like I was like Flash out there. I was like, man, how many more? Let me fight somebody else tonight. I feel great.
So is it safe to say you're staying at flyweight?
Oh, yeah. No, they're not getting rid of me now. I had a healthy cut. Oh, nah, it's a wrap for y'all. Whoever, any of these flyweight ladies listening, it's a wrap now. Nah, it's a wrap.
And you say, you know, you've been eating clean, of course. What's the first thing you're going to go eat right now?
Man, I don't know. So a lot of fighters like food porn all week, right? I'm telling you, I was on Food Network this week, something vicious, because it ain't just been a week. I haven't had chocolate and candy and ice cream for months, like months. I've been eating so clean, measuring everything. I was like, had this long list of stuff I'm gonna eat tonight. Now I don't even want it. I don't even care. I was like, I'll probably have a margarita. That's always my go-to celebration. But when it comes to food, I don't have a desire. I don't even have like, I feel disgusting eating chicken wings now. Like, because I felt so good, I don't even want like that much. I'm pretty sure I'll eat something though. I don't know. I don't have a wish right now though. My list was too long. We'll find something. My coaches will feed me something good.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats on the big win. Sarge, real quick, shout out to you at 135, because if you could still hold your own with just admitting that girls were that much bigger, hey, props to you.
Thank you.
Congrats on the new lifestyle. And obviously, tell us a little bit about putting everything together. New lifestyle, clean things up, cleaned yourself up. Was it just inevitable back to Flyweight? Because you've mentioned going back to 25, and we're here now.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it was inevitable. So when I first went to bantamweight, I was like, we got to put some size on. But around 2020, about 1 or 2 fights in, we had decided we should start leaning out for bantamweight. I realized there's no lifting in the world that I can get to get as big as these girls. And I am holding my own. I'm hitting them, they're hitting me, and I ain't going nowhere. So let's just work on our speed. So just by naturally working on my speed, I sort of, my size started to come down at bantamweight. So I was getting smaller at bantamweight, and the girls were getting bigger. So once I decided, like, okay, guys, let's really go for this thing, I called up the nutritionist, and I started eating as a flyweight, even though I was signed for a bantamweight fight. So I had started taking that weight down way back in January, because I was supposed to fight Carol Rosa at 135 June 12th. And so I called Ali. I said, look, I'm going to fight Rosa at 35, but I'm going to weigh in at like 33, dog, because I want flyweight. So I was preparing for this flyweight return before I even signed the flyweight fight. So it just came together. Just, you know, God is good. The timing just worked out. Carol Rosa pulled out. They offered me another bantamweight for this date. And I was like, look, if you're going to tack 6 weeks onto my camp, you might as well let me cut to flyweight. And you know, God is good. They said yes, and here we are.
Excellent. Good stuff. Did you envision it playing out this well? Because, I mean, the first round knockout, you looked tremendous in your new, well, second run at flyweight.
Technically new weight class.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always envisioning a finish. I'm always envisioning the different ways that we can end the fight. I always want to end the fight. And this is probably the first time in my life that it literally went exactly how we planned it. And so that's the first time we had no hiccups from bell to bell. It didn't even make it to the next bell. We just did exactly what we were supposed to do. So it felt amazing to be able to put a game plan together and have it go flawlessly.
Excellent. And lastly, walk me please through that knockout, because a tough alum, not since the late Kimbo Slice, have I seen somebody ask the person to hit them. You welcomed the punches to the face and then just big sistered her.
You saw that?
Believe it.
So I'm in mount, and there was a couple times she tried to hit me from bottom. You know, I tried to, you know, I ignore those don't hurt. And so I got to mount, and so we've been working on a little sneaky to try to sneak between the guard, because, you know, they cover up and they just hit gloves and the ref don't jump in. So I want to make sure every shot landed. So I was trying to look for a clean opening, and she hit me. And so I kind of chuckled. She hit me again. I was like, come on, girl. Because I knew every time she hit me, she's leaving her face open. So she hit me one more time. I just like, F it, bong, bong, bong. Like, if you want to get into a toe-to-toe with me from bottom mount, let's go. So that was funny. I didn't know y'all saw that.
Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Is there any regret that you didn't decide to go down to flyweight a little bit sooner, or was part of the time at 35 maybe meant to be as cheesy, but did the lessons that you learned while there make it sweeter and make the decision and make the effectiveness of your return that much better? And is there any regrets that you didn't make the decision sooner?
One of my favorite songs is Jay-Z, Regrets. And he says, you got to learn to live with regrets. It's just, man, do I wish I could? Heck yeah. My record's 7-6. Do you wish I can go back and refight some of them fights? Yeah, because every loss I've taken has been this freaking close. Could I go back and redo all of them? I could easily be, what am I, 7-6? I could easily be 12 and something, you know, but you just can't go back and do those. So, no, it's more the latter. I think I'm hard-headed. So, honestly, I learned better from the tougher lessons. So I probably needed to fight a couple of them two big girls to really got to hammer stuff home with me. About 3 of them was like, boom. I was like, all right, maybe y'all are too big. So I think I needed that little lesson to make this return sweeter and to make my motivation for this return that much better. I've been more motivated in my life right now, so I think I kind of needed that time.
And what's great, and I believe you're 36 now, which I think some people could say, well, she's not young, but you're not old. You're kind of right in the middle. But you're saying with this decision to go back down in the way that you're treating it, you feel like this is a brand new you. Do you feel that by this move you're giving your career a chance to go even further than what it would have if you stayed at 35?
1,000%. I think if I'd have stayed at 35, I'd have maybe had a couple of fights left in me. Mostly because it's hard to finish girls. I wasn't winning. No, I think I think it would have been. What was the question again? I lost track of my thought.
No, just if you felt like by making these decisions, you've now prolonged your career. Do you
that
feel like you're brand
career.
new? I mean, you could go.
No, I started drifting off thinking about them big girls. Yeah, they was trying to end me quick.
They were big.
No, I think hopefully this adds the second wind to my career. I do feel like at 36, as a woman, I'm not that old. I think 36 for a guy, they start trying to push you out the back door at 36. As a female, they don't even pay attention to you at 36. I'm right in the heat. I think I can fight for years more, especially now. I told everybody in my corner when I turned 36 in April, I felt legit 26. Like I woke up that morning and was like, I could easily pass for 26 at the liquor store, and I feel like 26 right now. So yeah, we can add them years on now because I feel better than I felt in my entire life right now, and that's just not a lie, guys. I feel fantastic.
And also, I guess kind of last, do you sort of feel bad? You know, Elise was a prospect. She's coming in the UFC. She had a lot of maybe possible future potential. Do you feel bad sometimes that the UFC throws these young prospects to a veteran killer like yourself, or do you wish that maybe?
Not at all. She's a professional. She weighed in at 125 and she signed the contract. Not at all. That's up to her and her team. If you 4-0 and look, everybody wants to make it to the big show. How many times do people get signed from these little shows just to make it to the big show? I don't think that's UFC. That's her and her camp. They look, we need a fight. And if I'm honest, I called Ali. I was like, Ali, do not reschedule me, dog. I don't care who you find. Mick, Ali, y'all better find somebody. And she stepped up. You know, not a lot of people want to step up and fight me on a week, 2 weeks notice either. So props to her, but I don't feel bad at all, no.
And lastly, you had a couple losses coming in there. Was there any pressure that you felt that you really needed to show up and do something? Was this how many fights you got left on the contract? Was this one of the?
No, I re-signed right before Ketlin Vieira, so I got a couple fights left.
Okay.
I re-signed just before the Ketlin Vieira fight, so it wasn't about the number of fights. I knew that by coming down a weight class and by having the entry-level girl I had to win. Yeah. No one explicitly told me you had to win, but it kind of had that vibe in the air that like, oh, I better not drop this ball here. But they kind of, I had no choice but to win that one tonight. I was in the do or die.
Well, it looked fantastic. Congrats on the win.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.